Good evening, everyone. Today, alongside my teammates Nicole and Andrey, we're going to be discussing the fundamental restructuring of global politics. For decades after the Cold War, we lived in a unipolar world, but that era has ended. We have transitioned into a multipolar reality where power is distributed among three primary centers: the United States, China, and Russia. This isn't just about military strength, it's a competition between different political and social models. At the heart of this shift is the Russia Ukraine conflict. While it may look like a territorial dispute, it's actually a clash that has disrupted the global balance of power, forcing every nation to choose a side. To give a little bit of context, from 2014 to 2022, there was an invasion. And to understand today, we have to look back to 2014. That year, Russia annexed Crimea following a controversial referendum. This was the first major move by a revisionist power to challenge the existing international order by force. For 8 years, an uneasy peace held through the Minsk agreements, but it was fragile. And then, in February of 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion, aiming to restore what President Putin calls historic Russia. This was a strategic gamble because Russia exploited Europe's dependence on its oil and gas, assuming the West would be too divided or weakened by the pandemic, and the withdrawal from Afghanistan to react effectively. This brings us to a classic concept in geopolitics, the security dilemma. This is when one state's efforts to increase its own security, like Ukraine seeking NATO membership, makes another state feel inherently insecure. Russia views NATO's eastward expansion as a threat to its backyard. Conversely, European nations, especially those on the front line like Poland and the Baltic states, view Russian aggression as an existential threat to their sovereignty.
The result, NATO has seen a realistic renaissance. Finland and Sweden have abandoned decades of neutrality to join the alliance, fundamentally changing the security map of the Baltic Sea. Far from being weakened, the transatlantic bond between the US and Europe is now tighter than ever. So we have the next slide here. The Global Alliance, the Sino-Russian Partnership. But while the West has unified, another power bloc has hardened. The Sino-Russian Partnership, often called a strategic partnership of coordination, has become a central context on international politics. It's important to note that isn't necessarily a formal alliance based on ideology. It's a cold-blooded strategic calculus. Both Moscow and Beijing, as the light shows, share a convergent interest in undermining U.S. primacy. And China provides Russia with a diplomatic and economic lifeline aimed at Western sanctions. In exchange, Russia offers China a stable partner in its own competition with the US. So the relationship is increasingly unequal, with Russia becoming more dependent of the Chinese market. This is the image from Russia, the war for Russia versus China. So in this slide, we have global consequences, energy and food security. The ripple effects of this war are felt at the dinner table and the gas pump worldwide. Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe, and the blockade of its Black Sea ports caused global food prices to skyrocket. Vulnerable regions in Africa and the Middle East have faced acute food insecurity as a result.
Okay, energy has been weaponized as well when Russia cut pipeline gas to Europe. It helped to shatter the coalition supporting Ukraine. Instantly, it triggered a massive shift in global energy markets. The United States has emerged as a key supplier with USA liquefied natural gas, replacing 40% of the missing Russian gas. This has not only reshaped the trade balance, but also solidified energy security as a core pillar of national security for democratic nations. So now, in the final, Can you go next, please? Thank you. So, in the conclusion, the future engaged scenarios. So, how doesn't this end? Experts are now looking at Finland style. Finland style is like a scenario. For example, in this context, after World War II, Finland was forced to cede territory to the Soviet Union, but maintain its sovereignty and Western alignment. Ukraine may be forced to accept a similar imperfect peace, trading territorial losses for a durable westward integrated future. And it has flawed solution, but the alternative could be a Georgian style. The Georgian style is instability or total coalition. Ultimately, the outcome of the conflict will define the rule of the new multipolar world has been seen in this new era. Energy, food, and alliance are used as decisive as the weapons on the battlefield. Thank you for your time.